Hello, my friends, and welcome to the latest spin. I'm Mike Spinner, Student Athlete World USA, coming at you on a very happy Monday. For many of you, a holiday, a happy Martin Luther King Day to all. Coming at you a little bit later than usual tonight. Had a business trip to Philly, let's just say. I'll get to that actually in a minute. But wanted to just do my usual thing here every Monday before it got too late into the night. And it's actually halftime of the Eagles and Buccaneers game. So I figured take a few minutes just to say hello. Hope everyone's having a great week. And speaking of Martin Luther King Day, obviously a great man who I have read a great deal about, learned a great deal about over the course of my life. And one of my favorite quotes I've ever heard came straight from him. It does not matter how long you live, but how well you do it. And certainly something I think we all can relate to on a day like this. And yeah, what another great, busy, awesome week at Student Athlete World as we get closer and closer to our summer travel season. Um, Two big pieces of information to send your way. Number one, Tim posted earlier today that we have a big number of interviews coming this week. I think when Tim posted, it was at 17. A couple more have been scheduled since then. So we're now up near 19 to 20 for the week. And what I want to point out about that is we passed a new year, obviously. And I think last year we saw after the new year, I wouldn't say things really slowed down, but as much as it became kind of less like a wave of interviews and more like a smaller number that came regularly through the month of January. And then as we got into February, maybe then things slowed down a bit, just a little bit more. And by the end of February, our tours were 100% full, and we had a great summer. This year, we're looking at a situation where our more popular tours, the interest is still through the roof. We're still getting hit with waves of interviews. So what that means is number one, if you have not yet interviewed and you are looking to schedule your interview, get that scheduled. All right. Because we're in a situation where the interest level in our tours is still exploding. Number two, if you have interviewed with me and you have not yet deposited or paid for your tour, get that done because our roster spots are going for our more populated tours at this point. We're looking at a very small number of roster spots depending on the tour and the sport. So the only way to reserve your tour is to get in, lock yourself in, do it now. Okay. Because things are moving along really, really quickly. And then for the person who's just kind of getting connected with us, go to studentathleteworld.com, complete your application, and do it aggressive. We ask for letter of recommendation if or up to three highlight videos, then you interview with me. Get that done quickly. If you're a basketball player, you're in season. So getting a letter of recommendation from a teacher or coach should not be a biggie. If you're another athlete, lacrosse, other sports we do, get a teacher write your letter of recommendation, but get these things done because our tours are filling very quickly. Okay, and that's kind of the business for this week because it's going to be an amazing week of interviews, and I'm certainly excited to really get this moving. I can't wait for tomorrow. All right. So now, what in the world? What in the world today is sponsored by Southern Connecticut Stars Hockey. Most of you, if not all of you, have never heard of this program, but I am especially excited to have them as a sponsor tonight because I just got back from Philly. Anyone who has spent any time with me knows I have this amazing 11-year-old son. His name is Matthew. He's an outstanding hockey player for Southern Stars Pee Wee Hockey. This weekend, Liberty Cup, we're outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And this Southern Stars team went down there, went undefeated, and earlier today captured the championship. And all the games were just super close, super exciting games. This team was down late in the third period by 2 goals for two different games and ended up winning both of those games. Again, went undefeated. Today, just an outstanding effort in the championship game. So proud of this team and our kids and our coaches and our families, and obviously, especially my own 11-year-old son, Matthew. So, Matthew, I know you watch my videos. Congratulations. You had a really amazing weekend, scored a bunch of goals, made a bunch of great plays. And I got to, if my voice sounds more raspy than usual, it's because it was a fun weekend of hockey. And I'm really happy as a part of it. And which is a really good segue to another piece of business. Something I thought about driving home from Philly today. I'm in many ways thankful for this job, and I talk all the time about how much I love it. One of the things that this job has allowed me to do is, as many know, I worked in college athletics for 23 years. When I need, time on weekends, I can schedule interviews accordingly, as I did this weekend, so that I can do things like go to my son's hockey tournament. If I were still a college coach for my sport, I would have been on the field all weekend. If I were still in college athletics administration, I'd probably been in the office all weekend. It's basketball season. But I had the opportunity to do some work from the road, get to all the games, and really enjoy the experience. And why do I say this? Because I get a lot of questions during these interviews from parents about, does family go on our tours? Should they go on tours? Must they go on tours? And the answer for us is, we strongly suggested, for one reason. As a parent, do you really want to miss out on your kid playing their sport internationally? And I say that because, like, my son's team, and I've seen him on a teams in the past that won tournament championships. This weekend was really special. It was amazing, and I'm still, like, I won't be sleeping much tonight. I'm still so excited. And so I know if I had missed out on my son's experience this weekend, right now I just wouldn't feel as good as I'd like to. I'd probably feel pretty bad about it. And that's not my son playing on the international stage. It's him playing in a regional event, and it was an awesome event. If my son were to ever play a sport on the international stage, I would do everything in my power to be there. I would not want to miss it. I would not want to miss my son wearing a USA jersey. I would not want to miss my son going up against international opponents and all the amazing things we do on our court. So, to parents out there, take it from me, because in my prior career in college athletics, there's a really good chance I would not have been there to see this tournament this weekend. And right now, I'd probably not feel too good about it. So, as a parent, if your mindset is like, hey, I may or may not go on tour, I kind of want to, but I'm not sure. Well, as a parent, let me just say this to you: you want to go on tour. You want to see your child have this experience, because who knows if they'll ever have it again, of course. So that's just my own 2 cents as a parent, because again, there was a time in my life that I definitely would not have been there. And thankfully I was. So, take it from me. What in the world, Dallas Cowboys? How about them Cowboys, right? How about them Cowboys? They played one more game than the Giants, people. After all that, yeah, they beat up the Giants pretty good twice, dominated them, had some fun with them, embarrassed them maybe, especially the season opener. They played 4 more quarters of football than the Giants. So yeah, how about them Cowboys, people? Love it. But here's my what in the world component of it. So I love all sports, basketball, football, being probably two of my favorite, hockey, of course. And I like to study the sport because I'm a really big fan. And so watched the game yesterday. Luckily, the hockey schedule didn't interfere, and got to watch a lot of the post game. And so questions, is Jerry Jones going to go and hire Bill Belichick to coach the team and get rid of Mike McCarthy, and all these other questions? And what about Dak Prescott? All these other questions about the Cowboys. Here's my thing, Cowboys. What in the world, right? It is not ideal if you're a Cowboys fan if they lost a playoff game and had an early exit, as they tend to do. But if you listen carefully to the comments after the game, Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, Mike McCarthy, others, all they talked about was how surprised they were at that turn of events, how surprising it was that they lost and by such a blowout, and they weren't as competitive. And the word surprised was used. And here's my question to you, Cowboys: how could you get surprised at this point? The Dallas Cowboys are an NFL football team. They hosted an NFL football team. Now, they were a pretty heavy favorite. I remember the spread, but it was not considered a close matchup. All right. So, how did an NFL franchise or an NFL team get so surprised by another NFL team? I don't understand. All right. How's that happen? Because here's a hot take, and I'm not saying I'm the only one with this take, but my hot take is this: I think the game ended at the opening coin toss. Because how's a coin toss work? You win the toss, you defer. Is that now close to 100% of NFL games? Can we all agree that 95, 98% or more of NFL games, you win the toss, you defer because of that scenario that the analytics people say is ideal, where you have the ball, the last possession of the first half, first possession of the second half, potentially a 10 to 14 point swing. If it all works out, great. So everyone defers. What did Green Bay do yesterday? They took the ball. So right off the bat, I think you have the Cowboys on their heels. Not because they play defense first, because I'm sure they're expecting the Packers to defer. And hey, Dak, you'll get the ball first. Here's what we're gonna do. And yeah, maybe Green Bay will get the ball first, but most likely they'll defer, especially being on the road. You want those two possessions. And Green Bay not only won that toss, but they made a living out of that first possession. Was it 7.5 minutes long? So now they're up 7-0. Cowboys are on their heels, and I don't think they ever recovered from that. As much as it was one drive, one touchdown, it felt like an eternity. I felt like that Green Bay Packers offense was on the field for the entire half, let alone a quarter, let alone a drive. And you just never got the feeling that the Cowboys were quite in that game. Now, I think it was 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, and the Packers went ahead 14-0 early in the second quarter. Then the wheels came kind of off the wagon. But in my opinion, the Cowboys were not mentally prepared for Green Bay to win that coin toss and take the ball. And from that point on, it didn't even matter. And that's how outcoached the Cowboys were. That's what a mess the Cowboys were yesterday. That I think that game was decided during the opening coin toss. All right. And again, maybe I'm wrong. It's just I was surprised that Green Bay took the ball. I know the announcers were surprised. But the Cowboys can't be surprised in that situation. Them boys can't be surprised. Okay. Because here's what didn't happen. I listened to what happens on TV carefully because, yeah, I'm a student of the game. And at no point did the Packers do anything yesterday against Cowboys that they hadn't done all season long, offensively or defensively. And the announcers made that point clear. Same quarterback, same weapons, using the same weapons the same way. All right. And so their game plan was Cowboy specific, but nothing dramatically different than what to expect from the Packers. And they dominated the Cowboys. For the Cowboys, that is a massive organizational failure. Does it start with the head coach? Absolutely. But you have scouts on top of their scouts, analytics people, whoever else you have in all these rooms at Jerry World. The Cowboys looked completely undressed for that game. And that is a game that they should have won. They were at home, had a great regular season, were heavy favorites, and looked like they're playing a different sport. Okay. So Dallas Cowboys. Now I love it. At the end of the day, I'm a happy guy. I love watching that football game. I had a real good day watching it. Let's just say that. But are the Cowboys really America's team anymore? After that, no. Why are they even called America's team? Because they used to be America's team? Come on. If anything, America's team is the Detroit Lions. I think everyone identifies with the Lions. Just my own opinion, but maybe that's for another day. But for the Dallas Cowboys, what in the world were you doing? I don't know. And I hope you continue not to know no matter who your coach is. I love it. Enjoy your offseason, Cowboys fans. That's it for the latest spin this week. It's been a great week. Can't wait for next week. And as always, how does this all work? How do you get involved with Student Athlete World? How do you join us for a tour? Go to studentathleteworld.com, complete your application, interview with me, and pack your bags. Have a great week, everyone. Can't wait for next Monday. Take care.